we're flying by the seat of our pants here. There he is, Shamir. So we're gonna just acclimate ourselves here real quick. Joe, Rad Dad, can you see Shamir's comment? Do you have anything to
I
here? I
can't see
could
comments. I can't see
right.
comments.
I could do that. Like he knows from me playing around with this. So let's see. If I do this, it will now show comments. It should.
Okay.
Now
Right now I see it says no comments will display here.
Okay, good. Yeah, so good. So Shamir's on. We love Shamir. And yeah, I can change that. How did I change that chat overlay? Anyway, we were just talking. We just jumped on. My head spinning. We got all this stuff going on. Putin's bombing nuclear facilities in Ukraine. Oil's. What'd you say? Joe was just looking at oil. Oil's up.
Yeah, so oil's up a little over 3% right now. I think it was 3.37%. So oil's doing good.
Yeah. Well, I just read that the world is not buying Russian crude. That I think it's dropped by like $23, and there was no takers on Russian crude. So the boycott is just continuing. It's really something to watch. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, well, here we'll start with this. I wanted to get a little bit into Joe's why, what he's doing, because after we hung up, we were, hey, Shamir, I guess I'll just pop in, and when people ask questions, we'll let people filter in. Well, yeah. But have I bought my weekly pep share? No. And tomorrow it looks like I might get a little bit of a deal. It will be number 90. Yeah, oil shares have just been going up. He's up in Canada, I believe. Is that right, Shamir? We got a Canuck with us.
What's up, Shamir?
Yeah, so oil's up. I haven't bought Pepsi. Obviously, this is going to make everything more expensive, I think. And I'll share my screen here in a minute. Let's get settled in because this is all still pretty new to me, but Canadian. Watch this, what I'm going to do. Yup, Canadian. Here we go on the screen. Bam! Look at that. I got toys to play with here. Oh, here. And we're with the Rad Dad Investor. So I love it. This is kind of cool. This is Restream for those of you not in the know. Maybe you don't care, but we're playing around with this. It's a way we can talk and do things live. So anyway, Joe, how's it been, man? Since we talked last, the world's gone crazy. We got Putin invading Ukraine. Yep. What is your opinion on it? We don't really talk geopolitical events here, but I mean, this is the whole world's talking about it. So I guess we kind of got to touch on it. What is your, 1,000-foot opinion on it?
Man, that's a loaded question. I guess. Are we talking just investment wise, or
anything? I don't care. Whatever you want. Whatever comes to your mind, man.
I think it's really cool that how the Ukrainian people are stepping up and fighting back, and they're not just giving up. I've seen so many stories where like the dads have had to say goodbye to their families, and you and I are both fathers, and there's a ton of parents out there that just breaks my heart to see that. And all for a power trip. Like, this does not have to happen. I could care less what the stock market does, because in all honesty, long term, the stock market, this is beneficial to us. But I mean, people are losing their lives, and then you have Russians that are. I just read a report today that these Russians are going in there and they're essentially being lied to, and they don't want to fight this war that's going on. At least a majority of them, it sounds like they don't want to do that. And they're punching holes into their gasoline tanks so they can, what are those things called? I don't know what the machines are that roll through the cities. Tanks.
The tanks? Yeah.
They're punching holes in the gas tanks. The Russians are, supposedly to this report that I read, because they don't want any part of this war. So, I mean, that says a lot. When the Russians are turning their backs on Putin, they know they could go to jail or even be put to death for doing that.
Yeah, that's why it's really interesting that I know the Ukrainians have I guess to put it politely, a deep dislike of Russia that stems back to just before World War II. So from what I've read and seen, they don't want any part of Russia. They don't want to be part of Russia. They have united, like you said. Like, it's been pretty crazy to watch that they have bonded together as a country, and man, they don't want to be part of Russia, and they're fighting for their lives. And like you said, what's the moral side for Russia's soldiers? I mean, they're being
Yeah.
told you have to do this. I guess now they're being faced with attacking their Slavic cousin civilians, which, to me, that's war crime stuff. And I don't know what Putin's, what his end is in this. I don't get it. You're never going to assimilate Ukraine into Russia, that they're not going to want to do that. And I
Yeah.
guess to kill Zelensky and institute a puppet government, but I mean, what? Just because he says that he's stopping the genocide and he doesn't want them to be part of NATO. But what the hell does NATO do? They're kind of like UN. They don't have a military force that's worth anything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to watch this play out. And it's kind of crazy that we see this in the 21st century. But
Yeah.
Share, I love that question, man. I'll get to that in just a second. But before we move on, here we go. I'm going to do my screen share, and we're going to take a peek at the stock futures. Everybody, hold your breath. I'm gonna see making my way over here. There we go. Let's see. Bam! Look at that. So we have got the futures down and red. You can see this, right, Joe? Is it
I
working?
can see it. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. That doesn't sound like an old person. Is the email machine working? So, yeah, I mean, look at that. It's not, I mean, you got the Dow down 144 points. So basically, VIX up almost 3.5%. So when we wake up tomorrow, or depending on where you are in the world, it looks like it's going to be a red day tomorrow. So that's
Well,
what's happened
yeah.
with the futures. Let me stop
And
sharing this and
I'd like to add two more things to it. Like,
yeah, go
even
ahead.
if Russia, Putin takes over the major cities in Ukraine, like even if he wins, right, in his eyes, he's losing. He's destroying his economy, not only short term, but I strongly believe long term.
Oh, yeah.
He's literally turning his back to the whole entire world because nobody wants any of this. It's war crimes at the worst, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
even if he wins, he's losing, and the ruble has just been destroyed. I think what you can get
It's down
110.
30%. Down 30%. Last night I looked. I talked about it on my podcast, and the ruble is now less than a penny
Yeah,
compared to the U.S. dollar. It's crazy. Their stock market has lost 98%. They have some companies that are down 99%. Some of their banks. And yeah, it's the boycott. I mean, you have Amex, Visa, MasterCard all trying to eliminate Russia from their networks. I mean, the streaming entities, Netflix is trying to block it. Everybody's banning everything, but don't ban Smirnoff. I'm not a vodka drinker. I had to think there. So Smirnoff is owned by Diego, and they in Plainfield, Illinois, they have a facility that they make Smirnoff. That's like maybe 20 miles from me. It's made in America. So bars and clubs and places, they're trying to ban all the Russian drinks. And it's unfortunate that like Smirnoff and Stoli, they're not made in Russia. They're kind of like Russian themed. And to tie that all up, the person who made Smirnoff, don't remember his name, he fled Russia during the revolution, went to France, made his way to the United States in 1934 and started making Smirnoff here. So it's really just not. Oh, look at this, Shamir. I mean, is that any more prescient? He's having a Smirnoff. Well, there you go. And it's okay, Shamir. It's not Russian made, so you're in the clear. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Just take 1 second before you go and boycott and ban something and make sure that it really is from Mother Russia before we
right.
do that. But I don't know. I guess we can move on. I think we've covered it. But what a crazy thing how the world changes. And yeah, like you said, you're not worried about the short term, right? What this does in the short term.
No, it helps us. Honestly, it not only helps us buy companies we love at even better of a discount, but then if you look even farther out, that halts the Fed, in my opinion, that they can't be as aggressive as they may have been. There's a lot of rumors that they're going to go double, 0.5% increase. I think there's zero chance they're going to do that now. Just from what I've read, I don't see it happening. So, I mean, that's extremely bullish, I think, for us, not only short term, but long term. And I think a few months from now, like, the market's going to be good. And And I made a video earlier or later last year, December 27th, talking about how I thought the stock market was going to drop as much as 8% in the first half of the year. And we're right around, I think, 8 or 9% right now.
Yeah.
And I said the back half of the year, I'm extremely bullish on. I think that the back half of the year, we can see double-digit positive returns. So
Yeah. All we need is people to come in. All we need is people to come in and start buying. And one thing I am nervous about, so I'm trying to play a little bit of my prediction here, is I think that this could affect Chinese stocks. So I own like Alibaba and Tencent and Neo. But the reason I say that, and this could be a stretch, if Russia is so isolated that they are struggling and hurting, we know that China has pretty much been, Beijing has pretty much been friendly with Moscow. So I have a feeling that Moscow could try and hit up China for aid or relief or whatever it is. And then that could get the whole ball rolling with getting all the world superpowers involved and having to take a side. And my thought is that one of the things the United States could do is just immediately delist all Chinese stocks from the U.S. exchanges as a form of sanctions. So, I don't know. We'll see. That's just one random guy's guess.
That's a good way to think. And I think I just saw Neo said they're going to be listing on another exchange.
Yeah.
I can't remember what exchange it was.
I didn't see that. I was going to say, hopefully you did that. I just actually, speaking of Neo, I know we usually talk dividends here, but I bought back I sell covered calls, and I have, a couple hundred shares of Neo, and one of them I sold a few weeks ago. It was a $28, $28 strike for, I think, $109 a contract. So, $1.09 a share, $109. And I bought it back this morning for 4 cents. So for $4. So I made $105 in a few weeks on Neo. And, I wait for those green days and I do it again. So anyway, I don't want to keep Jay Share waiting. He's got a pretty cool question here for you, Rad Dad.
Okay.
You can see that, yeah?
Let's see.
I put it up on the scrreen. Can you see the
blue
bar?
So do I invest for my kids? And what is my strategy if so? Awesome question. And in all honesty, I guess I'll share it as quick as I can. The moment I found out I was going to be a father, I was super stoked, right? I went out and I opened up a brokerage account for my daughter. Mind you, at the time, my daughter was only like my wife was only like 8 or 9 weeks pregnant. However, I knew if I opened up an investment account, a brokerage account for my daughter, of course, it has to be in my name. Once she was born and we got the social security number, I, of course, transferred everything over to her in an UTMA brokerage account. And my investment strategy is I do invest in dividends, of course. My investment strategy is a little bit different than the dapper dividends king over here. That's why I love doing these streams with you, because we have a common goal, but we get there 2 separate ways for the most part. For my daughter, I invested in Neo when it was like right around $3 or $4. Nice. Tesla pre-split at $45. Square, I was killing it in Square. I invested in Square like in the $70 range. And of course, I got almost up to $300. So that was killing it. But now it's way back down to like $110, $112.
I think it's a good buy. I think it looks good. I don't think they're going anywhere.
I still believe in it for sure. So I definitely invest. That's how I invest for my kids. And we talked about this in the previous stream that we had. There's definitely a lot of different options. Like you're doing a 529 for your kids, and that's a great strategy. The way I look at it is I want to give my daughter like a ton of options. If she wants to, when she becomes of age, she can use that money for starting her own business. She can use it for college. She can use it for down payment on a house, whatever it may be. So I honestly think in today's age, and definitely my daughter's only 2 right now, 16 years from now, is college going to be a necessity as it was when you and I were growing up as kids? I don't think so.
No. Oh, hell no. No.
Yeah, not at all. So, and the cool thing is, I haven't told anybody this right now, but I guess I'll share with you guys.
Let's hear it. Break it.
My wife and I we're going to start trying for another kid this year. So at the beginning of the year, I did the same thing for my future kid. I opened up a brokerage account in my name, and I'm just throwing in $100 a month into there. And we haven't even started trying to have a kid yet, but it's super exciting.
Nice.
To be able to invest in my kids' future dreams that they don't even know they have yet, So that's my investment strategy for kids.
You're saving for people that don't even exist. That's pretty hardcore. I love it. Yeah, I waited for my kids to at least be born, and I started stockpiling cash when I found out my wife was pregnant with our first. I started putting $50. I think it was a month initially, just $50 a month or a week. I can't remember what it was, but I kept doing it till I had a stack of cash in my dresser drawer. My daughter was just, just being born, and
Mhm.
yeah, I had to do something different. Talked to a few people, and they said 529 plan. And
Yep.
that's what I've been doing ever since. Number two came along, and just kept on rolling it. So now I just automatically have, I think it's one of the kids I'm trying to play catch up. So one I think is at 250, and the other's
Okay.
at 150. And on the 20th of every month, I don't even do anything. It just automatically goes right in there. It's just been doing that for years. It's just like clockwork. So I think that's, try and automate things as much as you
Mhm.
can. So I hope that
And
answers your question, Jer. Jer
and
shares awesome. By the way, he has an awesome website. Uh, Jer, if you're still watching, it's Dividend Stockpile, right? It's been a few days since I've been on it. And yeah, let us know if that's it. I'll blast your comment up there. Anyway, I'm sorry to cut you off, Joe. What were you going to
no,
say?
yeah, I'll take a look at Jershare's. I guess after this, you can shoot me a text. I'll take a look at his website as well.
Here, fill
But
time for me. Go ahead and keep talking so I can try and look.
yeah, so I was
Stall
gonna
for me,
say
buddy.
you said you're gonna try to catch up your one kid, right? Like,
Mhm.
I'm actually stressed about that, right? Because I made like probably some of the best investments I could in my daughter's brokerage account. Like for a 2-year old, she was up at the 14. I think she's down to about $12,000 off of just $2,000 invested, a little over $2,000 invested. So I'm extremely kind of nervous that I'm not gonna be able to produce the same outcome for my next child. God willing, if I have one. So I'm gonna have to play catch up, just like you said. I'm gonna have to do much more because I don't want my daughter at 18 or 21, whenever she gets this money, to have six figures, and then my other kid only have like 40 or 50,000. Like that doesn't seem too fair. So it's a
Yeah, and I
little.
didn't I didn't look until maybe about a year and a half ago. Sometimes I don't look at what their stuff is doing. I might do it like once a year. It's just
Yeah.
so super automated. But the older one has a 15-month head start.
Mhm.
So it's crazy just how 15 months and looking at the difference. I mean, it is what it is. And it's the power
Yeah.
of compounding. And
Yep.
just that's why they say start as early as you can. And it's really necessary. Let's see what we got from Ryan. Oh, anyway, before we go too farther, here we go. Check this out. I'm going to share Jer's website. I love it, man. He's been around. I've been talking to him on Twitter for a while. Here we go, Jer. So dividendstockpile.com does a couple articles a week, and it's mostly
Okay.
dividend focused, so it's right up my alley.
Uh-huh.
And it's got just all kinds of cool stuff, cool ideas, and I would highly recommend checking that out. And I will put that in the chat box here. So
Awesome.
say something. I'm stall.
So you're a
Stall for
dividend
me.
investor. I think I made it clear that I'm not as big as a dividend investor as you are. And there's very few dividends that I've owned. However, over the last few weeks, I've bought more dividend stocks than I've bought in years. And I'm not the type of person that flies to safety, and I'm not doing that right now. However, there's a ton of dividends out there, or at least over the last few weeks, that dropped to such extreme levels, in my opinion, that I had to buy them up, like Home Depot,
Yeah.
Nvidia, Target. I
Yeah.
dabble
Yeah.
in some waste management. I added to Apple because Apple's creating a really great resistant line right here. Um, I'm extremely bullish on Apple. I know short term, I think Apple can actually get really hurt by this Russia. Well, they're not selling any Apple products or services to any Russian people
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now,
I saw that. Yep.
which is going to, in my opinion, hurt the owners like you and I that own Apple short term.
Yep.
It's going to affect the bottom line. However, I strongly think in the next 12 months, by this time next year, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple is at 250. That's how bullish I am on Apple.
I think they're better than I think they're just so big. They're so resilient, and really they have. I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Really unique. Um, just a moat, I guess, because
Yeah.
even like Microsoft, I mean, I think that they have products that can really compete with them, but when you look at Apple, they have
It's a cult
it's
following.
crazy. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It is like a cult following.
Yeah,
I know people that won't touch anything that's not Apple, and that's the way it's gonna be until Apple either goes out of business or they die. I don't know why. I do have an Apple phone, but it's just my work paid for it, and I don't know.
yeah.
It's the only Apple product we have. So, hold on, I want
I
to
have like
grab a
10 Apple
comment.
products.
So,
I'm
are
an
you an
app. I'm
Apple? I don't. Yeah.
Dude, well, I guess like I've been in Apple and I've been an investor in Apple for so long. It's one of my top 5 positions by far, and it's made me a ton of money. So I think that's what made me like a huge believer in it. Just they're
Oh, he
paying me so
glitched.
much
Are you
money to own
glitching or I'm
them.
glitching?
I'm not glitching, but
One of
you
us glitched.
froze. Can you hear me? Oh, there we go. We back?
I don't know. Was it me? I was just telling Joe I think I have a crappy Wi-Fi connection. Oh yeah, look at this. 3 out of 10. Stupid thing.
I'm
We're gonna get this fixed. If I
I'm
glitch,
full.
just talk over me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Here, anyway, I want to throw this question up.
Okay.
I saw pop up from Ryan. He's a union electrician and he wants to know our opinion on college versus trade school. Are you better off learning a trade and investing or going to college?
Mm.
Well, I mean, for me, that's cool because I am a welder. I've been welding for since 1999 now. So I'm in the trades. I've always been in the trades. And there's not a lot of people going into the trades. So it's pretty lucrative. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I'm a service technician on commercial loading dock equipment, and I do a lot of welding. And I mean, I'm making over 6 figures, and I just went to high school. I don't have any college at all. I learned pretty much OJT. So, um, I don't know how much you apply. I mean, some of it was just, like I got into the Navy and learned welding in the Navy and then transferred that out. But, yeah, if you want to be in the trades, I think it's fantastic. I personally like that. For me, it's fulfilling that I get to different jobs. I'm not going into an office. Yeah, sometimes I work outside and it's crappy, but sometimes it's beautiful. And I get to see the finished product of my work. There's times when something is broken or there's a really old beat up piece of equipment and I pull it out and I install a new one. And when I'm done, I at least get that satisfaction of there it is. Like I did that. And it's not like some, management structure where I'm getting a report and then I do my little part and then send it off to somebody else who sends it. I don't know. That's a world I don't know of. But anyway, so not sure if that answered your question, but you want to know if you're learning a trade or going to college. You could do both, right? I don't know. Did you go to college, Joe?
Yeah. I got my business management marketing degree. I'm a big believer in it depends on the person. Like you're a welder.
Yep.
One of my best friends is a welder for Centerpoint up in Minnesota.
Yeah, we do
Makes
work
over
for
6
Centerpoint
figures.
Properties. Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know if it's Centerpoint Properties or a company named Centerpoint because we have Centerpoint Properties here. It's like a property management company.
It's Centerpoint Energy.
Okay.
It's a public traded company. If you haven't heard of it, CNP. Take a look at it. I think the dividends at like 4%. I think so.
Okay, we'll look. Put it on the list.
But yeah, he works for them and he makes over 6 figures and he's got a low key, not super stressful job. Trade school or college, man, like it depends on the person. The ROI, depending on what you're going to college for, the ROI on trade school is going to outperform, I think, the average college degree. That's my opinion. Like plumbers make a ton of money. I got a buddy that's a plumber. He owns his own business, multiple 6 figures a year. And he just went to trade school. Like I think he went for, I forget what it was, like 9 months or 24 months, something like that. It was less than 2 years. I know that. ROI.
Yeah,
I mean, if colleges were reasonably priced,
oh God,
but they're not. So it's like that. And that's exactly why I want to invest for my daughter up in a brokerage and not like, and I don't say this in any harsh way at all because 529s are great for kids that know they're going to go to college, but I just don't want like any limitations, I guess. To what my daughter wants to do.
I will say on the plus side a few things, and I see Jer says that he has a 529 for each of his kids and
Yeah.
brokerage accounts. So that's kind of what I have. Same thing.
Mhm.
My kids have brokerage accounts, or custodian accounts I set up for them. But with the 529, at least the one I have here in Illinois, we can change the beneficiary at any time. I could change it to
That's
myself
really
tomorrow if I wanted to. I can change it to grandkids, or
true.
if we wanted to. Um, if we wanted to use that money for something, if they don't want to go to college and they wanted to maybe try and start a business or two, then we can still take that money out. We just have to pay. I believe it's almost like withdrawing early from a IRA. So the
Okay.
government's gonna get um, they're gonna get their
Yeah.
tax. They're gonna have your hand in your pocketbook one way or the other. But there's always the option that we can do that. And even if we do pay that 10% penalty or whatever, then we're still ahead of the game, and it's still money that's there for them. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's one of the drawbacks, I guess. It has to be qualified college expenses.
And it's not that big of a drawback if you just mentioned if you only have to pay a penalty, that's probably what 25-30%. My daughter, she's gonna have to pay taxes whenever
Yep.
she cashes out of those stocks,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
her tax rate is at the time. And at the 16, 18 years from now, the tax rate might be 30% for her. You never know.
Yeah. So there, the point is, there's no way that you're not going to pay Uncle Sam. But and this is kind of um, there has to be a why. I think you have to know why you want to do something. And just to tie that in, I was just telling my kids about I was going to install a dock plate 2 mornings ago, and before I did it, I told my kids, I said, you know what? This is why you have to invest, because I'm going to go and install this dock plate. And when I do, I'm going to get paid for it. And the money I get paid for it, I will never see another penny on that. But when you create the passive income, then you have taken money that you've worked for and earned, and now that money's going to work for you. And it's just so important because, like my favorite quote says, if you don't learn to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die, which is, big
Yep.
bluff, Warren Buffett. But I told them it's as simple as that. I'm going to install this thing, never going to get paid again. And when I take some of that money, I invest it in like PepsiCo, or like we're making these YouTube channels. I don't know how long these will be around, where it'll go, but you're going to get money while you sleep. I wake up and get dividends, different forms of that. So it's just so important. And nobody ever told me any of this when I was growing up. And I don't know why.
Isn't that frustrating? Like the school system, any teachers out there, I'm not saying this to be offensive. I'm saying my opinion. The school system out there is almost broken. It needs to be revamped for today's world. We need to learn about investing, how to like balance checkbooks, how to just budget itself, entrepreneurship. Like it needs to coding. Like all these things need to be taught in school, and I don't understand why that's
Yep.
not. And the only reason I think it is because school is made to prepare workers, and
Yeah.
exactly workers only. Like that's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
opinion. And I have
Hey,
teachers,
check
I
it
have friends
out.
that are teachers, and they don't like my opinion on that. But
We got Nora here, Stock Explorer. Nora, the Stock Explorer.
but
So can you? I'm popping these up. Watch, I'm going to pop this up on the bottom. Can you see? Do you see that thing that just flew up there? Is that on the
yeah,
screen? On the big
yep, I
screen?
see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good. I don't know. Easily entertained. It's like a shiny thing for me. I got the chat over. I think I must have like the master window here, so I can, here we'll have a little fun here. I can put like this up around us, like
There
a
we
little
go.
spaceship and thing, and I don't
Little
know. It's
bedazzle.
it's me. I get I get easily entertained, I suppose. But Nora, really cool, dude. She is always doing this every day, and I'm sorry I don't pop in more. I've got so much going on. We get the it's is it melon? Is what melon? Oh, what I just put up there? I was gonna say throw up. Yeah, she's for those of you that don't know, Nora has a YouTube channel, and she's always doing almost daily live streams, and she always has guests on, and they
Mhm.
just chat, man. Really entertaining stuff. Um, yeah. So Joe, you were. I guess I wanted to. I could do this all night. Just have people wander in and out and just hang out. And oh, is it Melon? No, I'm on Restream. Restream.io. And I know that you use StreamYard, I believe. But no, we use see, I wish I could just hear people's voices instead of reading, it'd be a lot cooler. But hey, we're doing what we got here. Haas says, "What's up?" Yeah, it's Restream. It's free. It's got cool stuff like these captions. I can like this put my Bing follow us on Twitter, and then I can throw Rad Dad Invest. I don't know. It's got silly stuff that you can do. Um, Here we go. Watch this too. I'm sorry, everybody. That's be entertained by this. I can do
Hey, I
like
like the color.
there. Yeah. I could do background. Maybe I should have a background on here. This is all new to me, people, and everybody knows that I can't. I'll just leave this thing on. Or do you want a video? Was it better to have a video like that? There we go. That looks. Ooh, look how professional that looks, people. All right, we'll leave that on. Unless it hurts your eyes, then I don't have to leave it on. Okay,
I'm good. I'm good. I like color.
He enjoys the channel. Let's see what Ryan said. Oh, we got a question from Ryan. I've looked into AQN. Is that Algonquin? I do believe I have. I'd like to know my thoughts. I think I know about it. Go ahead and talk real quick, Joe. I can. Nora, it is the free version. It's the free version of that. I'm gonna pull it up on Simply Safe Dividends real quick. So go ahead.
Was
all
that
for me, baby? Still
was the last part of the question green energy? It got cut off for me, and I can't scroll up. Was he also asking other questions about green energy stocks?
He said he's looking for a green energy stock.
Okay, so I only own one green energy stock, and that is Enphase, ENP. Is it ENPH? I haven't looked at where it's at today. I'm definitely very green, positive, I should say, in Enphase. I'm not sure what level it's at.
All right, I got it.
It didn't get hit too hard today.
Here, I got you. Look at that, and I'll show him. Let me share the screen here. I got AQN pulled up on the old SSD, the old Simply Safe Dividends. So they give it a borderline safe dividend safety score. Nice yield, 4.67%. We'll just go through this really quick. So, according to Simply Safe Dividends, where are they in? Algonquin Power has a portfolio regulated, non-regulated, Canada, US, Chile, and Bermuda. And let's see their dividend safety. They've been growing that dividend for 11 years. Looks like they cut it during the last recession or just before. So 10 years of dividend growth streak, 11 years uninterrupted. They are Canadian, so you may have to deal with those taxes. Not. I don't know. This one would be a little bit sketchy. I guess if things keep going south, I wouldn't be surprised if they cut. This is the first time I've really ever looked at this. It's only $13 a share. It's right in the middle. And let's see. I know energy companies, you can't really look at the free cash flow payout ratio because they issue so much, to grow their. Anyway, I'd say this is. Yeah, they have a bit of a high earnings per share payout ratio. That's more of a better indicator for a lot of these utility companies, and that's a little bit high. Let me just see their shares real quick. Yeah, and they're pretty much looks like they're funding all of their projects by issuing shares, but their sales are growing a little bit. So honestly, for me, I would not. A little bit of debt. Yeah, I don't think it wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't. Yeah. So AQN, not for me.
I'll answer his question on my side. It's not a dividend stock, but Enphase. Take a look at it. I'm a big believer in it. It's sitting high at about $160 a share right now. I'm down right around the $115 cost basis. I really like it 130 or under. So if the stock market keeps going down, start nibbling at the 130 if you're looking for a green energy stock. TipRanks has this ranked a strong buy right now. 21 analysts covering it with a 37% upside in the next 12 months. So.
And who was that? What company?
Enphase, ENPH.
Oh, Enphase. Yeah, ENPH. Yeah. I know Enphase. Don't own them outright. It's funny I say outright here because like what Nora was talking about, this bridge portfolio, all that this is money that we're building to do things to make life easier, to just have I don't want to say fun with, but just
Mhm.
more paychecks coming in because the bulk of my money is in my 401k through my work, through that retirement account. So there's more Vanguard mutual funds in there that I invest in. So it's not just like this isn't my only thing. This what's on the board behind me is literally just it's a bridge. It's so work can be optional quicker by having more money coming in. And someday I'd like that to be up to 10 grand a year. And then initially 12 or and then eventually 12 grand to have at least $1,000 a month,
Yeah.
that pays for bills and food and
Yeah.
just less worry. So um, yeah, I should have started doing it long ago. Um, yeah, well, I guess real quick, I wanted to just tap into. Let me turn this message off. Um, if anyone wants to ask something, ask real quick. But I'd like Joe to say because I wasn't aware, and I'll let you tell it. But you were able to quit your job and do something that you
Uh,
wanted to, which to me is I think how I need to start looking at things that money is not the goal, right? Money should be a tool and just what fulfills you and what makes you happy with this one shot you get in life, right? So what um you quit a job. What job did you quit and where did you go?
yeah. So I guess, okay. So at the time I was living in Minnesota, just north of Minneapolis, about 20, 30 minutes. And my background is banking. I've had about 8 years in banking. However, at the time I was in a marketing company, market manager, and I was in a high stress job, and I wasn't loving life. Like I mean, I loved my life, but I hated my job. I had an awful boss,
Yeah.
um, high goals, high pressure on me that I had to pass down to several other employees. But here, I'll start just doing bullet points. In 2013, I went to Hawaii on my honeymoon with my wife. The moment I stepped off that plane, I can't tell you the feeling I had. I was like, golly, like this is amazing. Like it's in the middle of winter back in Minnesota, which you're in Chicago. You got to know
Yeah.
it's. I don't like Minnesota. We got negative 30 or 50-degree weather days with wind chill sometimes. So to be in Hawaii in the
Yeah.
fall, going into winter at 80 degrees, that alone was awesome. But just the feeling I had there. Anyway, we're out at a restaurant that we got recommended to, and it's called Duke's, and it's in Waikiki. And we're a few days into it, and I looked at my wife, and I'm like, babe, like, we could move here, and I could work here. And she kind of laughed at me because I'm in a really good job, right? Like 6 figures easy plus
Mhm.
bonuses. Um, and to be a server, right? Like I used to do that when I was younger in my 20s. I used to cocktail serve. But I was at the point in my life where I started to create a good amount of passive income. I was house hacking from an early age. I bought my first house at 21, and about 22 or 23, I started house hacking, and I was living not only rent mortgage free, but I was making about $75 a month living free. So all that
Oh,
money I got in, paying
nice.
down the principal on my house, I invested it all. I also was investing 20 to 30% of all my paychecks at the time. Um,
God,
so,
jealous.
and yeah, anyway, so a couple days later in the honeymoon, my wife looked at me and she's kind of like, yeah, possibly, like, I'm open to it. So anyway, we go back to Minnesota, we sleep on it because I don't like to make rash decisions, right? Um, Within 9 months, we go back to Hawaii, and I take my mother with me just to show her around and see things. And we still had the same feeling. So we're like, okay, this is more doable. Then within another 9 or 10 months, we went back to Hawaii again. So we've been to Hawaii 3 times in 2.5 to 3
Yep.
years. And this time we went there to see if we can live. We started looking for places, jobs, so forth. Um, we went back to Minnesota in June. We listed our house within a couple of months, got over asking price. We literally had over a 3,000 square foot house, sold almost everything we own. And we moved to Hawaii with just a couple. We shipped our car out, one of our cars out, sold another car, and I started at Duke's Waikiki. And I moved there not even having a job. My wife moved there not even having a job, but we just trust the process. So I was a part-time server working at Duke's on the beach. If anyone's ever been to Duke's Waikiki, you know that atmosphere is amazing. It does not feel like work. You have people from all over the world there, and that's so fun to me because we're big travelers. We travel the world. So the fact that I can meet people from all over the world, they're coming to me, I'm getting paid for it, and I have ocean view all day long. Like that was amazing to me. So I did that for about 3 years, and I mostly did it. I mean, at that point, I didn't necessarily need to work, right? With
Yeah.
everything I was
Yeah.
making, we're going. So okay, here's the cool thing. Everything that I was making for the first 2 years, I took that money, and I was investing at the time, but I took that money out, and then we bought a rental property, and that rental property right now makes us $450 a month, paying down our principal. And get this,
Oh,
since we bought that property in 2018,
mhm.
it's doubled in price. We bought it for 175, and right now it's going to go over $300,000. So
Man.
that's super cool. So, but the main reason I was working there is just I wanted to part of the culture, meet people all around the world, and I needed health insurance. So that
Yeah.
was main
Yeah.
reasons.
It's
And
kind of like
Hawaii,
almost barista fire, right? Almost. I mean, just
so
working. I don't know if you know what that is, but yeah.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, about 3 years into it, so COVID happened. And at that time, that's when I just stopped working. I haven't worked since COVID at all. I decided to be a stay-at-home dad, which is amazing. Being able to spend time with my daughter. Like, she's 2.5, and time's just flying by. And I'm super blessed to be able to do that. And my goal is in the next 9 years to be able to retire my wife. So I want her retired by 45. And I just trust in the process. And I always preach: invest early, invest often, and invest in the high quality companies like stocks, crypto, or real estate. And I'm a big believer in it, and it's paid off extremely well. So that's kind of
I
my
love
story.
it, man. I absolutely love that story because I always say I'm currently paying for the financial sins of my younger years where you were saving what 20 to 30%, you were investing. There was times that I think I had maybe like 3% of my check, going into the IRA. For maybe like 5 or 6 years. That was it. Didn't really
Yeah.
do any other investing, spent everything else. And I had a lot of memories, had a lot of fun, but it comes with a price. So um, now I'm 30% pre-tax goes in, and then I've got the
Mhm.
bridge portfolio I'm building on top of other crypto, and we have two other funds for travel. And I'm probably saving 50% of my pay. And
Nice.
I just love what you did. Like, that is a reason why. So you have options, and what you did, you made some sacrifices early on, and that just
Mhm.
gives you options. And I think that's what it's all about. You can walk away if you want to, and you kind of did
Yeah.
walk away. You went to Hawaii, but that.
and,
But
and
that's the
and
thing.
I
How many
worked.
other people were in that job that may still be there, but because they didn't do what you did, they
Mhm.
don't have the option to walk away. You know.
Absolutely, yeah. And going to work, and you don't have to, especially working on the beach, like that alone is rewarding in itself. So that's a huge blessing for sure. And you gotta say a lot of no's in your 20s, for a decade, even into your 30s. But if you say as much no's as you say that young, you can say hell yes to whatever you want later in life.
Yep.
Um, and I came from nothing, and I don't say that like trying to disrespect my family. I'm the first generation that's going to break the mold of living paycheck to paycheck, or not even being able to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here. That's
Yeah. So, and to a point, it's up until like the last few years, like I kept it really like hush hush,
mhm.
because to a point I almost felt bad or sad or whatever you want to call it, that I had this life. But since I haven't been back to work in 2 years, like they kind of caught on, and then I started this YouTube channel about 5 months ago, so I'm just kind of like airing it out a little bit more. So yeah.
And that's what you're doing. You're sharing. I love it. Sharing ideas, how to do what you did, and things that you look at and things that you did. I mean, I think it's fantastic. This is why I love YouTube, is we all can share our ideas and what we're doing. And, some of us may not be experts, but I think we're all, knowledgeable individuals. And it's just really cool. So actually I want to ask you about when you say retire. Now,
Yeah.
in my mind, when I hear retire, it's not just sitting on the beach with a mimosa all day long and doing that
Mai
day after
Tai.
day, right?
Mai
Or
Tai.
Mai Tai, Mai Tai, not mimosa. What am I thinking? Um, I don't know. My mother-in-law loves mimosas, but that's probably why it's on the brain.
That's why I
But
gotta call them mimosas.
there
Oh,
you
you said
go.
that
That
too.
I'm gonna make. I love it. I'm gonna make a new. I'm gonna use that somehow. But um, I don't know what. Yeah. So we it's not just sitting around doing nothing all day because you can't just sit on the beach and then play golf every day for the next 30 years, right? So, in
Yeah.
my mind, what I'm shooting for is to be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, whenever I want, in the way that I want. Like
Yeah.
that to me is what I'm shooting for. And when I hit a certain level, then I want to be able to just walk away from what I'm doing and say, yeah, I've done this for 30 years. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But still, I got I got my website, the YouTube channel, and right. So, what do you do? Do you do things that may look like work to other people, but it's just
Mhm.
something that's fun for you that you enjoy?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll say what my day to day looks like. Well, first of all, being a stay at home dad, that's stressful enough. Like that's a actually like, it's so joyful, but I don't have that personality to like be like a stay at home dad. I guess my wife would be a perfect stay at home mother. However, she has a great job, makes great money, but she doesn't have anything that she could like. If she stopped working, she wouldn't have any money flowing in by being able to stay home. And I do. Um, I do options. Um, I day
Okay.
trade. I don't day trade necessarily right now, but I more swing trade right now. So that's a little bit of stream coming in, and then I have side hustles as well that I have, and then there's another side hustle or business I'm thinking about opening up, and that's just like cleaning service business. Um,
Okay. All right.
and then I think I like my wife and I have been talking about it because in this area that we live in, the neighborhood that we live in, there's an extreme need for people to have house cleaners, and it's crazy how much people are paying. Like it's literally like $200 just for a basic like dust, clean the bathrooms quickly, vacuum,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like you're in and out like an hour and a half, and I'm like that's crazy. So we've been thinking out loud like, is this something I can do a few days a week, and then after 6 to 12 months, hire people to start doing it for me, and I just sit back home and collect money that way. So I'm
Yeah.
always thinking of
Hey,
side hustles.
no, I love it. I wanted to point out Jer's question, but before I do,
Yeah,
um, yeah, like that's. I think you kind of nailed it, man. Just more options, and I at least was fortunate enough. Now it was a bit of a hit. My wife she stayed at home when our second was born. She quit working, and thankful we did that. And yeah, it was a lot harder with money, and it's a lot tighter, and I'll have to work a little bit longer, but. Um, she's been with our kids every single day, and to me
yeah,
that's really important that they haven't had to go to daycare and have all that. So we figured this would be more worth it to us than the money. So
100%. If you
Jared
can
wants
afford
to
it,
know,
yeah.
I don't know if we could afford it, but we made it work. So
Well,
he wants to
that's what
know
I
what
mean.
kind
Like,
of.
sorry,
No, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say if you can afford that or make it work, like that's a blessing to you and to the kids. So it's definitely can be a struggle for a lot of people out there. But if they can make it happen, like more props to
Afford it, made it work. We made it work.
them.
So Jared wanted to know what kind of options do you trade.
um, well, I also short stocks, and I've honestly been thinking about shorting the stock right now. Maybe not right now, depending on how it runs. But Lockheed Martin, I think it's up like
Ah,
10 to 15% in the last week or so.
it just hit a
And
all time high, I believe. I know 52-week high for sure, and it just hit an all-time high because I own Lockheed Martin, and that was one of the ones. And I actually, it's funny you say that because when it was at I think 454 a few days ago, and it's a popular one in the dividend community, I thought of, man, I'm like, I was looking at the chart and thinking like, this looks a little bit high. I could see it coming down a bit, and yeah, so I'm with you there, but I don't like to sell. So, but if you were shorting, so Lockheed
yeah, so
Martin,
sorry, and I just think that I'm hopeful that this war that's going on ends peacefully, and if it ends peacefully in the next few weeks, there's no reason Lockheed Martin can't drop 15% like in a matter of a week.
are
You know,
are you concerned though? Are you concerned with countries like Germany and I think Poland and a few other European countries, they're all saying that they're going to be spending on their defense. They're going to want to be able to protect themselves. So I think that's why we saw it, right? We saw spikes in Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, Raytheon, and Northrop Grumman. So I know those four big dividend stocks. I could, on my radar, they all had big jumps up after Germany said that. So I don't know. After the war ends, there may be. I don't know. But it has gone up a lot, and it does make me a little concerned.
Yeah.
But
a company like that shouldn't spike 15% like that quickly. Of course, given like, and I always tell myself and people that are willing to listen, take emotions out of it, right? Like this war that's happening right now, is it going to affect the stock market months from now? Probably not. So with that being said, why wouldn't a company like Lockheed Martin drop back down to a more realistic level? So that's just my take on it, and I could be completely wrong because this war could go on for months. And,
Jer would know that we were all buying Lockheed Martin, or people were all pumping it when it was around $330 a share. And yeah, sure enough, Jason Fieber's a dividend investor I like, and he did a video where he said I could see if there was some kind of conflict that this would shoot up, and sure as enough, it 100%. Did that.
And it shoots up anytime there's a Republican in the White House as well. So that's generally a good time to own Lockheed Martin. They're more willing to spend money that way.
Well, hey, if anyone's watching, I'm going to give this 9 more minutes because we've been on for 51 minutes, if you can believe it.
Oh.
And if you got any questions, shoot them now, and we'll give you our opinions on whatever. But yeah, I think an hour. I thought it'd maybe be half an hour, but you get talking. It's fun. And what I think makes this cool, and I'm glad it worked out, and I'll see how it looks on the replay and what tweaks I can make. But I like it that we can have people come in and just ask questions. Journeyman Portfolio. I'll put your bam. Look at that right up there. He's watching. We're gonna here. I got news like that, and then default. What do you like, Joe? Which one better? Can you see that where it says Journeyman Portfolio?
Yeah, I like them both.
Yeah. Okay. Watch it. There's one. Better 2. Better 3. Those are my 3 options.
I like that one.
We'll go with that. Okay. Yeah, so it's silliness here. What do I think about Facebook?
Is it Jer?
Share? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with this comment too. I think long term, like it's a great company and it's a solid dividend. But that's just something that I think short term, if this war ends peacefully, it's going to drop. Like there's no way it's not. But long term, it's always going to go back up. And I'm not shorting a stock for long term. That'd be really stupid of myself. I'm shorting it for a swing, So that's just my opinion on it. And
yeah, and I'll add this as a dividend investor that when I buy Lockheed Martin, I'm planning on never sell. Obviously, there's situations where I would sell. But if all things remain constant, say for the next 30 years, I'm not really concerned what the stock price does. I'm concerned about the dividend income, that it just keeps consistently growing. And that's what I'm buying it for. I'm looking at it as like a sunk cost that I can't get the money back. And what I do have left is the cash flow that the business spins off. So this might be up your alley. Journeyman Portfolio wants to know what you think about Facebook.
Oh,
Meta.
I love Facebook right now. It's got a forward PE of 15. It's got a forward PE less than IBM, less than 3M. Are you kidding me? It's a FANG stock. Yes, it's put in the penalty box over an extreme. Mark Zuckerberg is very smart. He threw in all the bad news plus more in this last reporting. He's going to get it figured out. He's not going to allow a company like TikTok to defeat him long term. I after it dropped in the 220s, I was like, it's a decent buy right now. But I was waiting for 180 to 200, and I made at least one video, if not 2 videos, on this topic. I said once it hits 180, 200, that's when I'm going to start buying with both hands, because there's no way this stock can't reach all-time highs within the next 12 to 24 months. I think it's some of the easiest money long-term in the stock market right now.
Look at this. You're going to sell me on Facebook. I feel like running out and buying Facebook tomorrow.
I
I
mean,
mean, I see. That's the cool thing. I do own it though because of the Vanguard mutual fund.
mhm,
So even though I don't own it outright in like one of my, portfolios, I do
yeah.
own it as part of a mutual fund. So that at least is a good benefit that I do
And
have part of it. Yeah.
most of the Vanguards they own 1 to 5% of Facebook. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I like. And do you think it's dependent on the whole metaverse thing? Do you
we'll see.
think that?
This is what I love. Like he spent $10 billion on Metaverse. That hit their bottom line. He knows that they're not going to make any money off Metaverse anytime soon. So he threw in as much money towards the Metaverse as possible. It's going to pay off. But not only that, like the only thing that kind of concerned me was how Apple kind of turned off Facebook being able to track for marketing, right? But that also hurt Shopify. Both Shopify tanked because they relied on that as well. Facebook, they have so much money. They steal so many employees from Amazon, from Google, like from Microsoft. They steal as many high-paying, powered people, give some of the smartest minds to that company and are overpaying them. I have a hard time believing some of the smartest people in the world that work for Facebook can't get this figured out. So
That's super interesting. He wants to also know. So, would you buy more now or wait for a further pullback?
I'm buying. I didn't quite look at it too much today. I think it hit right at 200 today. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. I love it at 180. Right now.
Here, I'll pull it up on the old Google machine. There you go. Let me see.
Yeah, so
I'll share my screen.
With after hours, it's sitting at $200 and change.
202.97. There we go.
Yeah, and you can see after hours it dropped quite a bit. So what I buy right now, yeah, I bought some today. I'll buy some tomorrow. It looks like, as long as the futures hold red.
God, yeah, look at that, dude. Down 21.22% year to date.
Look at the all-time highs. What's the all-time highs down like
yeah, let's see.
50, 60% maybe?
Yeah. When was it? I zoomed out too far.
All-time highs were just
on
5 months ago.
That was that then, right? 379. Those were the ATHs. 367, 379, 382 maybe.
40.
Yeah, so about 382.
Yeah, I mean, it's with a forward PE of 15, I think it is. Like, come on, like, should it be the same forward PE as IBM or 3M? with such the great growth potential it has, and 3M is going to be hurting short term, I think. So,
that's in my wheelhouse now. They got two messy lawsuits going on, but
yeah.
One of them real interesting. They just did a appeal. They filed an appeal claiming the government contractor defense, which basically means that they did what the government told them, how the government told them with the earplugs. They modified the earplugs, made them a quarter of an inch shorter because they were messing with the Kevlar helmets. They were catching too much wind. So they did that, and then they tested it and said this affects how it's attenuation. It affects the functionality of it. So one of the things, and they went back to testing it. They said if you fold back one of the flaps, it's on the video I did yesterday, and you could push it in further because it had a shorter stem. This whole thing, and they let the government know that government was okay with it. They accepted it, and they didn't even want instructions on the box. So they said they believe that soldiers are better trained when they train them and not manufacturers' instructions. And then soldiers were using them wrong. So that's it's interesting. So basically, in a nutshell, in 1983, there was a Marine named David Boyle, and he was flying a Sikorsky helicopter that it turned out that the escape hatch was not defective, but there was issues from it. Now, United Technologies owned Sikorsky. They were the parents, and his family tried to sue. Well, because the government told them what to do with it, they accepted the design, they said it was okay, then the government kind of is responsible, and you can't sue the government because they claim sovereign immunity. So it's basically it's nothing. So 3M is trying to use the government contractor defense to say, we did what the government wanted, how they wanted it. We told them that their modification affected its ability, and away you went. So we'll see if it has legs. So if that does, that could be a major hurdle for them. We'll run these real quick. We'll run a few minutes over. He said the Shopify chart looks super scary.
Yeah.
Here's one for me. Consider an Archer Daniels Midland, CAG, and KHC, each of those stocks. Off the top of my head, I'm not thinking, I can't think of what CAG is. Archer Daniels Midland, I know and I love. I mean, we are always going to need food. I know in times of hyperinflation, especially, that farms and companies that produce food, they continue to do well. I know in Germany during hyperinflation times, the farmers were pretty much okay. And yeah, they drew the ire of a lot of the citizenry, but farms do well. Kraft Heinz, that one I did a video on maybe like 3 months ago or so, part of a multi-stock video, and I wasn't too hot on it. I haven't really paid that much attention, but I know they had issues with I think some of their growth in their sales. The dividend might be okay. And then
Warren Buffett got smoked with that investment.
Well, Kraft Heinz. They're the ones that orchestrated it. And then let me look up CAG. You guys can't see this. Oh, it is ConAgra. Yeah, I was gonna say. And then ConAgra, they got a 41 borderline safety score. So I've never really looked into ConAgra, but generally, I think a lot of the food companies are going to be okay. And he put CAG ConAgra. Oh boy, look, we got more people coming in. Well, we were going to start wrapping it up. I don't know. Do you know anything about this, Joe? About let's see, the Gazprom deal? I don't know anything about that off the top of my head. I know that's Russia, Gazprom. I saw that in a headline, but I didn't. Oh, look at this. Now we got Ryan coming in here.
What's up,
Yeah,
Ryan?
we need you, buddy. He's supposed to do this with me. So we were going to shoot for Sunday to do it with Darth Dividend, myself, and Ryan. And yeah, we're just about to, dude, we've been doing this for an hour and 2 minutes. This is ridiculous. It just hasn't it gone by quick, Joe?
As what?
Hasn't it gone by quick? How?
Yeah, it feels like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's like a warp. Into the contract just ended. Yeah, honestly, Capson, I don't know about the Gazprom deal, but I'm super intrigued now, and I will look into it. And let me highlight. Whoop, wrong one. It jumped me. This is what I wanted. There you go. Boom. Ryan says the stream's looking great. Look at all these little toys I get to play with, Ryan. Yeah, he should be around. Good. Yeah, we're going to just chat dividend stocks and give our opinion on things. And, did he hit? I haven't checked out his latest video, so he did hit 100 shares. Let's see. Bang. There it is. Real quick, just I like trying to include everybody. That Gazprom inked in 2008. Yeah, so we can't know everything. We only know what we know. And this is another guy. Look, now I want to get off and just everybody's just filing in, right? So blue collar Bill, thanks. Well, Joe, I don't know. Anything else you want to say? A few more minutes here. It's turning into a marathon.
This last week, like future has been red and then it turned green, right? Tomorrow's Friday. Futures are red. I wouldn't be surprised if they not only stayed red but continually get worse throughout the day, just because the uncertainty over the next couple of days when the market's closed.
There we go. Dow's down 216 points right now. It's only it's not even 1%, but they're all looking red.
If it stays red, throughout the day, I'll probably buy in the last 15 minutes of the trading day tomorrow.
Yeah, for anybody listening, I love this. There's lots of sites. This is what I've been using for futures forever is investing.com. Just click on the right here indices futures tab, and it'll bring you to what I'm looking at right now, and it's kind of cool. Before I go to bed, I just like to see what the market's looking like, and all indications are showing that it's going to be a red day tomorrow. So Yeah.
It's good
Well,
for
I'll be
us.
buying. I'm buying my share of Pepsi. So for those of you watching, I've been buying one share of Pepsi Co. and I've been doing that for 90 weeks now. Tomorrow will be the 90th week. Just my little way of dollar cost averaging in. I wanted it to be a core position, and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy a share of this thing for 100 weeks so I can sell covered calls on it when I got to 100. And I don't care what it's at, how low or how high. I'm going to buy one share a week. And unfortunately, it's been all, just up and up. Well, not unfortunately, but yeah. All right. I think we should wrap it up here.
All right.
And cool. Everybody, we do appreciate you joining in. Check out Joe's channel, the Rad Dad Investor. Hold on, let me put up my
Please.
hold on. You got to get your there you go. Boom. Look
Yeah,
at
last time
Oh,
we
wait.
did the video, or last time we did one of these was a month ago, and I was sitting at just at 300 roughly, and
Yeah.
a month, 3-4 weeks later, I'm at, I don't know, almost 420, I think. So it's, people are saying I'm going at a good pace, but feels like a slow crawl to me.
Yeah, you'll get there, man. You got to I know you need the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 hours of watch time to be able for monetization, and it'll happen. And oh, look at David Braun. This is one of my guys. He's buying 3M, Clorox, Unilever, and PayPal tomorrow. Or no, PPL,
PayPal.
not PayPal. No,
Oh,
PPL. That's
yeah, that's PayPal. Or no,
is
no,
it?
no,
No, that's
PayPal's
PPL
UIPL.
stock. That's a utility company. Yeah, PPL Corp. Yeah, they've had a bit of a drop. I'm sorry, I'm looking them up. Okay.
Thanks, Ryan.
You see?
Appreciate it.
You see
Mr.
how it
Williams.
works. I want to get off now. I'm like, we're gonna get off, and people just start popping on. So
Next
yeah,
time we do this,
Ryan.
we just gotta introduce ourselves and then say we're getting off, so people can start coming in right away.
That's exactly it. There you go. See, Ryan says you'll be there before you know it.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. I'll put my little thing. I'm just clicking here. You can tell I'm like not totally paying attention, and I don't. Anyway, all right. So check out Joe's channel, Rad Dad Investor, and we'll talk to all you guys in the next one. So peace.
All right, guys. Take care.